Hi there, this is Loy from LoyMachedo.com. Today is the 6th of May 2014 at 10:14 in the morning. Now, I gave a presentation in Bahrain that was titled Toastmasters and Beyond, how to take your speaking skills to the next level. These are tips and tricks. You can use it as an intermediate, you can use it as an advanced, you can use it even as a brand new speaker. Okay, so I got a lot of emails where people ask me, can you email me the presentation? Can you send me? Could you give me some tips? People are calling me up over the phone. So I decided to make up this video. So you can use this even if you're a Toastmaster. You can use this even if you're a professional speaker. You can use it even if you're a day-to-day speaker. These are my own tips and tricks that I've managed to pick up from books from National Speakers Association, international authors, trainers, business presenters. So I've just gathered them up. So I just like to, tag it as Loy Machedo's 18 tips, but you can take it however you like and share it with anyone. So these are the 18 tips. Let's quickly move on. How to take your speaking, skills to the next level. The first one is brand identity, or who you are. Have you ever noticed, like, for example, if you look at Russell Peters, if I say Russell Peters, you automatically know he's a funny guy. However, if Russell Peters were to say something serious, chances are you're not taking so very seriously. Or let's say John Maxwell or Tom Peters, who are business leadership presenters. Now, you don't expect them to start cracking jokes and start getting humorous. So every speaker has a brand identity. You need to identify which brand or identity do you categorize yourself into. Are you a serious speaker? Are you a spontaneous speaker? Are you a humorous speaker? Are you a speaker who's only good at giving feedback and evaluations? So you need to understand your style. Now, me, for example, I had to define myself as who I was in order to stand out. Okay. So what I did is I asked myself, was I a serious speaker? Yes, I was. Was I humorous? Not very much. Was I a spontaneous speaker? Very easily. Was I a speaker who could give feedback? Yes. But then it didn't identify me in a specific category. So that is where I realized I was controversial. I was thought-provoking. I was in your face. And that is why I created a separate new category for me that was thought-provoking, controversial, charismatic, a storyteller. So I categorize myself into that identity. So find out what brand identity, matches your style. And you also need to keep in mind that when you're talking about brand identity, don't just look at someone, let's say like Judy Carter, who is a humorous speaker, or let's say someone like Tom Rath, who is also a business presenter, or Daniel H. Pink, or Al Gore. Don't look at them and say, okay, I want to be like them. No. What I suggest here is find out what comes naturally to you. Now, naturally, what came to me was I was a rebel. I was very much a bad boy. I was very much someone who spoke his mind off and said whatever he had to say. And people either loved it or they hated it. So I realized I was not going to be one of those loved, beloved speakers or decent speakers, or obviously I can't be categorized as a leadership speaker being tattooed. So I had to come across as a rebel speaker, as someone who has the guts and the courage to be different. So tomorrow, if I speak on the ethics of business or leadership, looking the way I look, people are not going to take me seriously. However, if I speak on something controversial, thought-provoking, shocking, a brand new concept which is wild, funky and crazy, it will match me. Like, I would never qualify for a Rolls-Royce advert, but I would qualify for something like Harley Davidson. So you need to identify your brand, and you also need to ask yourself, does my brand match the way I dress, the way I behave, the way I think, the way I am passionate about? So if it matches all this, then that is your brand. So the first point is your brand identity, who you are. Okay. The second one is core competency. What do you do really very well? Now, by core competency, what I mean to say is you need to find out what is it that you're absolutely good at, naturally good at. Now, if I try singing, the whole building may collapse. If I try being patient and being one of those meditative speakers, it's not going to work. For me, what really works is storytelling, shock, and I'm very good at research. You can see the books at the back. I'm very good at research. I love reading books. I love taking the wisdom from books, distilling them and presenting them in a brand new fashion. So that was my core competency, my strength. You need to find out what is yours. Maybe you're good at inventing new things, let's say concepts. Maybe you're good at being a reporter. A reporter is someone who takes the story of Abraham Lincoln, Colonel Sanders, Mahatma Gandhi, Mother Teresa, and presents it in a creative way. Maybe you're someone who is a funny guy. Okay, so you need to find out what is your core competency, what is it you do really well and easily well, and focus on your strength. There are some people who focus on eliminating their weaknesses. Let's say, for example, I've always been criticized that, oh, your accent is very South Indian, or you look like you're putting on a fake accent. So if I focus on trying to improve my accent, that is not my core competency. That is a weakness of mine. So instead of spending time and energy focusing on this, I would rather focus on something that is larger, like my knowledge base. Like so many authors, like let's say, for example, Sam Harris, who is one of the top neuroscientists in the world. He doesn't spend by hearting his speech. He always takes a laptop. He always speaks from the laptop. Now, I've been criticized even in the Toastmaster circles that, oh, look at him. He's taking a laptop and, sharing points from the laptop. He's not showing a lot of gestures and he's not moving around the stage. No, my job is not to entertain people. My job is to share information. So that is why I use a laptop. That is why maybe Sam Harris uses a laptop. I'm not validating that you need to read your speech. But yes, I give points of wisdom. So people should understand that. So that is my core competency. That is what I would say. Point number 2 is, what are you really good at? What do you do really well, naturally well, your core competency, and focus on your strengths. Point number 3, identify your mentor. This is by far a very important point, which I would say, what do I mean by identify your mentor? You need to have a mentor who is very much in your face, who always tells you what needs to be said, who disagrees with you, is someone who you can trust and believe. My mentor is Mohammed Murad, Lieutenant Colonel Mohammed Murad, who's currently moving towards becoming the the president of Toastmasters International. Now, I've known him for the past, I think, 14, 15 years. Now, he is very different to me. He is absolutely different. He's very religious. He's very spiritual. I'm not. He follows rules. I don't. He is a very caring, very generous, very loving man. I don't think I'm any of this. He is, he is a perfect leader. He's someone you'd want your children to be like. I am like an absolute disaster. Nobody would want their children to be like. So we are two ends of the pole. But I still consult him because he gives so much of wisdom. He gives so much of thought. He gives so much of substance in what he says. And it makes me think. And I love his logic. I love his ability to study, to learn more. And that is why I've taken him as my mentor for the past so many years. And I've stuck with him. And he always disagrees with me, always tells you, no, this is wrong. So what is wrong is wrong, what is right is right. So you need to identify a mentor who brings out the best in you, who may not agree with you, but is someone who truly and genuinely cares about you. So get yourself a mentor, a world-class mentor. The second mentor that I do have is Loyola Pinto from Abu Dhabi. He is he's a great guy. He's a person whom, if I share a particular idea, he will tell me point blank, is it good or is it not good? And you need someone with that knowledge and that experience who can really guide you, spend time for you, and be there for you. So these are my two mentors. My question is, who are your mentors? And I would always recommend, get yourself a paid professional mentor. The reason for getting a paid professional mentor is when there is money involved, people take their job pretty seriously. Now, obviously, I can never afford Loyola Pinto or Mohammed Murad. They are way too up there. They're way too expensive. Loyola doesn't take money. I don't think he takes money. Mohammed Murad, as a professional coach, he is like CEO standard, the diamond, the platinum standard. I can never afford him. He has been kind enough never to take money. I've been lucky to have this relationship. But if you ask me, the new mentors that I have, I don't want to take their name. I pay them money. I pay them money per hour for their time. So you need to get yourself a paid professional mentor, because when money is in the equation, they take their job very seriously. Okay. So point number 3 is identify your mentors. Point number 4, identify your role models. Now, Napoleon Hill's book, he had this mastermind alliance where he said, okay, I need you to visualize who are the people that you look up to, that you want them to give you their suggestions or ideas. Let's say, for example, you admire Mother Teresa, you admire Mahatma Gandhi, you admire Abraham Lincoln. Okay, So when you have your mastermind alliance, you have these invisible chairs sitting there, and you sit there with Mother Teresa, Abraham Lincoln, Mahatma Gandhi, sitting there with you, and you bounce a question to them and listen, let your creative mind grow and take the answer. So what happens is your viewpoint changes, your paradigm expands, and you're able to see things from a very different perspective. I know that there is no one in reality there, but this kind of creative thought process really helps you. If you ask me, my role models are the people who I look up to, whose style I like to emulate, although I don't want to be exactly like that. I can never be. Stanley Kubrick, Alfred Hitchcock, Steve Jobs, Sam Harris, Michael Shermer, Richard Dawkins, Christopher Hitchens. So these are the guys I really admire. I would like to be. I try to emulate, and I always wonder how they would have done things, and I try to copy from their style. So you need to find out someone who is your role model, someone who is far beyond you, your capacity, your reach, and ask yourself, how would they do things? This really expands your creative horizon and really makes you think. Okay. The next one. So point number 4 was identify your role models. Okay. Point number 5 is, what is your USP? Unique selling proposition. Okay. Now, let's say for instance, if there is a difference between, let's say, a Toyota and a BMW. Okay, obviously you know the difference because BMW is more on the luxury side. Toyota is a bit more on the middle class, useful day-to-day homes kind of concept, whatever. Okay, it's a product that is very useful for the middle class family. Now, each one has its USB. So you need to find out what exactly is your USB. I think where this was brought across blatantly on my face was when I tried to get the TED Talk. I gave a TED Talk. If you do not know, I spoke at TEDx Dubai, where I had to speak on the Stone of Judgment. Now, you need to understand that there are some speakers who managed to get TED because they tried to suicide. Oh, it was mind-boggling that they tried to kill themselves. There are people who have horrible disabilities, like they are twisted, or they are going to die, or they suffer from progeria, so aging fast. So they would get a TED Talk much more easier. There are some who have exceptional talents, like they can sing through their nostrils, they can tap dance, they can make sound effects through their mouth. I didn't have any of these. I was a normal guy. I had a few tattoos. So just having tattoos would not give me a reason why someone should listen to me. So I had to bring something unique to the table. So the curators, they asked me, what are you going to say at TED Talks? I give them 9 different ideas, and guess what? 9 of my best ideas, they rejected them. For 2 months, I was struggling day in and out, doing nothing else but thinking, what am I going to say on TED? And finally, I came out with a very unique concept, which I call the Stone of Judgment. The funny thing is, though the title says Stone of Judgment, my actual theory was the egg theory of judgment. Okay, the egg theory. I should have called it that, but anyway, it's too late. However, that video itself kind of went slightly viral. I wouldn't say millions. It just went 100,000, and that is by far my best ever speech that I've ever given. So you need to ask yourself, what is your USP? What makes you stand out? What makes your speech stand out? What makes you stand out? What makes your message stand out? And you need to get that. And once you get it, you need to nurture it. You need to make it grow. You need to expand on it. So my USB is my tattoos, my rebellious nature, the stories that I have. But apart from that, you need to have something that really positions you above the rest. My egg theory is a classic example. Check it out. Loy Machedo, Stone of Judgment. Okay. So point number 6. Now this one is a slightly controversial one. I would tell people you need to set up realistic goals. Now, what do I mean by realistic goals? There are a lot of people who come to me and say, I want to be a world champion of public speaking. I want to be the richest guy in the world. I want to be the most handsome guy in the world. I want to be the most beautiful girl. Or you need to be realistic. If you're 45 or 50 and you don't even have any education, don't think you're going to become the CEO of Microsoft or you're going to head Apple. At the age of 60, you're not going to run for the Olympics if you have never taken part in any sport. So one has to be very, very realistic. For me, I don't think Hollywood is going to take me and I'm going to be the next legend of Hollywood. Given the fact that I'm in Dubai, I don't have any acting experience. I don't have any connection. So one has to be very, very realistic. I think this concept became more real when I tried to get into the radio industry. I didn't know Hindi, which is for Hindi FMs. I didn't have a very good English pronunciation to join the English FM. So I was in no man's land, so I couldn't join either of them. And it took me 8 years to finally realize, listen, wake up. So you need to set realistic goals and be very realistic. So that's point number 6. Point number 7 is having a very honest assessment of yourself. Now, you need to know who you are. You need to honestly evaluate yourself. So there are many people who like to bullshit with themselves and they like to convince themselves who they are not. Don't try to do this. I always tell people, see, listen, give an honest assessment of who you are, what you are. Now, if, for example, you're fat, you have hormonal problems where you cannot lose weight, you can get treated and then you can lose weight. But there is a limit to which you can lose weight. You can't become like a six-pack ad person if your lifestyle doesn't support. So what has that got to do with speaking? You need to, there are people who want to become speaking champions. There are people who want to become very successful in training. There are people who want to become very rich. The thing is, they cannot see how lousy they are, how terrible they are, and the fact that they don't have the tenacity, they don't have the personality, they don't have the mindset of being a champion. They just want to be something. So me as a coach, when they approach me as a coach, I tell them on their face, listen, it's not going to happen. You need to be honest with yourself. It's not going to happen. And people don't like it. So point number 7, have an honest assessment about yourself. Point number 8, an applicable strategy. Now, let's say I want to lose 100 kilos. Okay, I want to lose 100, let's say I weigh 100 kilos and I want to lose weight and get down to 70. Now, I need to be specific. I want to lose 70 in the next 3 years. Okay, so if I want to lose 70, I need to break it down into every month. Okay, 3 years. Then every year, how much should I lose? Let's say, for example, a round figure, I want to lose 30 kilos. Okay, I want to lose 30 kilos. Yeah, obviously. So from 100 to 70, 30 kilos. So 3 years. So every year, I need to lose 10 kilos. And then I divide the 10 into 12 months. How much is that? I don't know. Whatever. 0.8 something. So if I want to lose, I need to lose around 0.8 kilos comfortably every month. So then I need to divide it even further down into weeks. What does that have to do with speaking? In terms of whatever goal it is that you have in terms of speaking, divide it into these time-bound goals, into months, into weeks, and then measure your success every time. It's very, very important. Many people just have this big desire. Okay, I want to be the new world champion. What is your strategy? No strategy. Okay. And you also need to, apart from the fact of losing weight, I also had to include a budget, money for, paying for the services of a coach, for supplements, for experts. I had to get myself a coach. I had to get supplements. So if you translate this into speaking, you need to invest in books. You need to invest in mentors. So have a strategy in place, a proper, perfect plan, which you always keep updating and revising. So point number 8, applicable strategy. Point number 9, what do people say behind your back? We normally like to receive compliments, and we normally go to meetings where we get this wonderful comment. Oh, you're an amazing speaker. Oh, I was totally mesmerized. Wow, that was beautiful. No, that is not the reality. Remember, just as there is no smoke without fire, people, if they bitch about you, if they talk about you, if they talk crap about you, that actually is reality. For me, people used to keep saying he doesn't, when I started my speaking career, people used to say he doesn't speak anything of substance. My ego used to get hurt and say, shut up, okay? You don't know what you're talking, you're just jealous about me. But then today, when I read all these books, when I look at a vantage point of almost 21 years of speaking, I realized what they said was true, So the people who talk shit about you, who talk bad about you, who talk behind your back and say hurtful things, believe it or not, those are the golden nuggets you need to reflect on, and that is something that will actually help you change. So consider this. Point number 9, what do people say behind your back? Note it down and work at it. It's not the compliments, it's not the good stuff. It's the bad stuff, the painful stuff that is actually true. Then point number 10 is the business card strategy. Now, just as everyone has their own business card, now even me, I have my own personal card. It's not a business card. See, a business card is something like this, which has a company logo. It has a company logo, and it has, all the designations, everything. So everyone has a company, a professional business card. However, this is marketing the company. This is not marketing. What I recommend to people is to have your personal card. Your personal card should be a reflection of who you are. Now, how would you design your personal card? What would you do? Now, for example, my My personal card is like this. Okay, it's a bit like this, and it is also, it has a full life story, like, complete life story. So my card is unique. I have another friend of mine, I can't get where the card is. His card is very, very expensive. I mean, it's around, I think, $3 or $4 a card. It's like a rock hard, and it has this amazing logo with his name on it. So you design your business card. Now the question is, what would you put on the business card? Your name, of course, your email address, and your contact details. But then, what designation would you put? Would you just put trainer? Okay, if trainer, then what kind of trainer? Coach? What kind of coach? You need to be more specific. You need to be really creative. You need to be creative with the design. You need to be creative with the colors. You need to be creative with the logo, with the brand, with what you write in it. In my case, I put business personal branding strategist. Now, that's a very unique position. I don't think very many people have that position. They have director, they have CEO, they have salesman, but nobody has personal branding strategist. And so you need to have your business card, which is totally unique. But don't make it so unique that people don't understand what it is all about. So I made mine different. I made mine kind of, stand out about my failures in black and my successes in white. And then finally my address at the back. So that is my business card. Create yours and keep giving it to people, because that is what would help you improve. Obviously, you'd want a perfect business card. There's no such thing as a perfect business card. Keep creating one, create 100 or 200, then improve on it. This strategy I've adopted right from the time I was 16 years old. So today it has changed. I'm not saying this is the best business card in the world, but you need to find out what serves in terms of function. Okay. So point number 10, business card strategy. Point number 11. Now this is very, very important. You need to have a one-liner, and you need to have a paragraph about yourself. Now let's say, for instance, you were to go and speak at a conference, or you were to go to speak at an event. The MC or the master of ceremonies or the anchor would always get in touch with you before and ask for, give me an introduction about yourself. It's always good to write a thought-provoking introduction about yourself, or if not thought-provoking, a really, really professional, an amazing introduction about yourself, because people need to look up to you. Now, what would you write in that introduction? Would you write that, oh, I have achieved so and so? Would you try to position yourself as humble? Would you overplay yourself, underplay yourself? Write a paragraph about yourself, because that really, really helps. If you write a paragraph about yourself, it forces you to think, what would you write about yourself? How do you market yourself? And you need to have this paragraph always used in every conversation. For example, my paragraph about myself is how I have failed. Like, see, my paragraph, which I send to all companies, and I send to all speaking conferences. I tell them, these are my impressive credentials, which nobody has. I failed in school, failed in college, failed in the first job. I was a shopkeeper, failed with my first salary. I earned only $356 per month. I failed as a professional. I didn't have any job for more than 6 months. I failed with the savings. I had no property and no savings. I failed in marriage, failed twice. I failed in family life. My family has abandoned me. I failed with the first impression. I'm tattooed everywhere. I failed in a religion. I'm an atheist. I failed in keeping relationship. I have 0 friends. So I send them this introduction, and people get amazed. It's like, wow, what kind of guy is this? I mean, he's telling me he failed everywhere. So what have you succeeded in? So I create a sense of curiosity. So have your introduction, which really creates a curiosity about yourself. Okay. That was point number 11. Have a paragraph about yourself. Now, point number 12, a marketing statement. Now, everyone needs to have a marketing statement. Now, when you go and shake hands with someone in a party, you say, hi, how are you? How are you doing? We normally say, hi, what do you do? And the person says, oh, I work as a salesman for company XYZ. What do you do? I work as a doctor. Finish. End of story. There's no curiosity. There's nothing creative. So you need to figure out some introduction where people say, wow, tell me more. So when people ask me one line about myself, instead of saying, I'm a speaker, trainer, professional coach, blah, 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 when people ask me, what do you do? I tell them this. Whatever is your salary today, I'm the guy who will double it by next year doing the same job that you're doing. So that creates excitement. That creates curiosity. Huh? How would you double my salary? How? So the question is posed, how exactly are you going to double my salary by next year? So you need to say this. Like my statement once again, when the person says, hi to me, hi Loy, how are you doing? What do you do? I tell them, I'm the guy who, whatever salary you're earning today, suppose 10,000, next year, you learn 20,000. I'm the guy who does that. So they, huh? So yeah, so you need to be creative, you need to put it across. So the one marketing sentence which qualifies why should people listen to you. Okay, that is point number 12. Point number 13, very, very important, which most of the Toastmasters and speakers do not know. How much do you charge per hour? 1 hour, how much do you charge? 2 hours, how much do you charge? 5 hours, 7 hours, 1 day, 1 month, 1 week, 1 year. How much do you charge? If you do not know the answer to this, you do not qualify as a professional. In my case, the first time I actually wanted to charge someone, I decided to charge him approximately $15, okay, per 1 hour. So the guy asked me, you know, he told me he wanted my advice as a coach, as just to guide him professionally in speaking. And he said, so how much do you charge for 1 hour? I didn't know. So I just thought, and I said, I charge $15. And I thought I was charging him too much. $15, man. Come on, imagine. You know, I divided my monthly salary into hours and told him $15. He looked at me and got absolutely shocked. He said, you charge $15? I said, is it, you know, if that's too much, or, you know, just give me a feedback, because that was my first time ever. He said, man, I was expecting you'd say $100 or, you know, $200 or something. I got a shock of my life. I was like, this guy who doesn't know me thinks I'm so valuable, and I don't think I'm so valuable. So over the period of time, I slowly started to get the courage to ask people, you know, what I believed I was worth. Today I charge, I think, roughly around, I think, $800 or so in dirhams. I'll just get you the exact figure so you know how much do I charge per hour. Calculator. No, sorry. I'll just put this as Control A. AED to USD. So just to give you an idea, how much is it that I charge per hour? I charge around $136. That is for 1 hour for personal, and if I have to charge a company, I charge $680. Okay, $681. So you need to know exactly how much it is you charge per hour, per month. And then if people ask me how much you charge for 1 year of being a mentor, 1 year of being a mentor, that is, if I charge a professional, I charge around you know, $6,807. Okay, so you need to know your exact charges per hour, per week, per month, per year. The reason being is then it's very clear cut. But one thing I request you to keep in mind is, don't just put up a charge. Oh, he's charging 100, I'll charge 200. No, you need to know what value you give them, and the best measurement for this is, does the person come back to you? Does he want to get trained under you again, or is it like a one-time business? For me, my clients keep coming back to me. If at least 70%, they keep coming back to me. So that is my market. That is my charge. So point number 13, how much do you charge? Point number 14, the power of one. You need to have one award-winning speech, one award-winning educational session, one award-winning training session. Always need to have one. Most of the people do not have this one. You need to understand, for example, Albert Benza, who's a speaker on change. You have Tom Peters. You have Larry Winget, who is another, you know, a really colorful speaker. You have Jeffrey Gidamore, who is an amazing sales trainer. All of them have one amazing award-winning training session, one award-winning speech, one award-winning educational program. You also need to have that one. I myself, my main focus is brand, how to brand yourself. That is my award-winning training session. My award-winning training speech is about, you know, the TED Talks, the Stone of Judgment. So everyone needs to have the one. Have that one, because it will always help you, and that will identify your brand. So point number 15, use the Facebook principle. Now, in order to be good in marketing, selling, or engaging, you need to be creative. So what I recommend people, be on Facebook. Don't just create a Facebook where only your friends and relatives are there. Create one which is professional, where you have professional people, acquaintances, and put up updates. Don't put up an update by Gandhiji, by Abraham Lincoln, by Khalil Gibran. No, people have overheard, it has lost its freshness. Put something that you as an authority say. So I always start my name by saying, Loy Machedo says this, Loy Machedo says that, Loy Machedo this, Loy Machedo that. So what I do is I brand myself. I always put Loy Machedo because I'm proud of the brand, even if someone likes it or doesn't like it. And then I put something of value where people forward it, or people send it to others, or people talk about it. Okay, it can be updates, news flash, whatever. So that gets me creative, that gets me going, and that gives me an idea of always using my brain. So use Facebook to get engagement, to get attraction, to get attention. Okay, that will help you in your real life. Then, so point number 15 is engagement and marketing through Facebook. Point number 16 is writing skills, blogging. When I wrote my first ever book review, that was Dan Ariely's Unpredictably Irrational. Okay, it took me nearly 1 week of struggling with the script, and I finally managed to put only 100 words. Today, if I were to do the same book review, I can write literally in half an hour, just half an hour, 45 minutes, I can write a book review. In fact, the longest article that I wrote many years ago, I think around 4 or 5 years ago, was around 2,000 or 3,000 words. And when I read it many years later, it was absolutely rubbish. The longest that I've written is Prasyan Vasilev, that is a 2013 world champion of public speaking. His speech analysis, imagine evaluation, which people normally write around 200, 300 or 500 words. I wrote 17,000 words. So you can Google it, Prasyan Vasilev's speech analysis by Loy Machedo. So these writing skills have improved and helped me become better communicator. I practice these writing skills while writing to rude responses on Facebook, on Ask FM, on my blogs. And this helps me sharpen that skill. In fact, when people come to me and ask me, prepare an award-winning speech for me, before around 3-4 years, in 2005, and I did it for Ravina, when I helped her create and craft an award-winning speech, which she won the Middle East Championship. It took me, I think, around 1 week of back and forth. We wrote it down in 1 hour, but then it took back and forth of 1 week, even though I was able to do it 1 hour. Today, I can do it in less than 5 minutes flat. I have quite a number of clients and I keep writing. So it is because I write and I practice writing these skills, the script. So blogging, point number 16, the power of communication. Point number 17 is what I'm doing right now, being a speaker on YouTube. The more I speak, the more videos that I put, the better that I become. So if you want to improve your speaking skills, do it on YouTube. You have no idea how many people abuse me, insult me, talk crap about me, point my flaws. I sound like a Malbari. I have a funny accent. I look stupid. I have shit on my face. I have these tattoos. No problem. Insult me all you like. Because what it does is it kind of points out these horrible little nuggets which are there, which I need, not nuggets, poisonous little things which are there, which I need to be aware of. And I need to accept them. There's some things I can change, some things I cannot change. So what it does on YouTube as a platform is it exposes my weaknesses and makes me stronger and makes me tough, makes me better and makes me want to improve. So point number 17, the power of speaking through YouTube. Do it, because that is what will show you. In fact, there are many speakers who say, oh, I'm a great speaker, I have a lot of followers. But when you check their videos, they have only 14 followers, so 14 views on it. So for me, I keep getting now, after I think around 4 or 5 years, on an average, I get 100 to 200 to 500 views. So very good. So I'm improving. So try doing it on YouTube. Make it interesting. Make it engaging, like how I'm putting it. Last, if not the least, the power of self-measurement. How do you actually measure yourself, speaker? Many people say, oh, I know I'm a good speaker because I've touched the lives of many. I know I'm a good speaker because I helped these people change. For me, the only and the most powerful means of measuring whether you're a good speaker or not a good speaker, good trainer or not a good trainer, is simple. Show me the money. If someone pays me money, let's say he paid me $1,000 to hear me speak, and after, let's say, a week, 2 weeks, or a month, or next year, again he's ready to pay me money and listen to me speak, and after another fixed period of time, again he pays me money, that clearly shows, man, I am good. That is why they're paying me money. If people pay you money, means you're good. Why money? Because money is a very precious commodity. People don't want to part, they don't want to separate away from it. So you need to remember this. The greatest and the best measurement that you have is money. If someone is willing to pay you money, means you're a good speaker, means you're good speaker. But if he pays you money again, you're a really good speaker. If he pays you money again, wow, you're a fantastic speaker. It's like, for example, Robin Shermer, when he came down to Bahrain, he was charging around, I think, roughly $1,000 or something the first time he came. It was a packed jam audience. It seems more than 1,000 people were there. The second time that he came, it seems they cut down the price to half, and not in 20% of the audience turned up. The third time, apparently, they didn't want to have the show. So that, according to me, shows that Okay, Robin Shermer is not very effective. He's a one-time wonder. Okay, agreed. He's very successful, far more successful than I am. Yes, whatever. But in the end, facts remain facts. So if I'm called as a speaker once and I'm never called again, that clearly shows maybe I'm not worth the money. So these are my 18 points which I'd like to share with you on how you can become a better speaker. Point number 1, brand identity of who you are. Point number 2, core competencies or what do you do really well. Point number 3, identify your mentors. Point number 4, identify your role models. Point number 5, what is your USP, unique selling proposition. Point number 6, setting up realistic goals. Point number 7, honest assessment. Point number 8, applicable strategy. Point number 9, what do people say behind your back. Point number 10, business card strategy. Point number 10, tell me a paragraph about yourself. Point number 11, yeah, tell me something about yourself. Point number 12, marketing sentence. Why? Tell them why they should listen to you. Create curiosity. Point number 13, how much do you charge? Point number 14, the power of one. That is, have one speech, educational session and training program. Point number 15 is the power of engagement. Facebook, be a great engagement and marketing guy. Point number 16 is the power of blogging. Practice your writing skills. Point number 17, market yourself as a speaker on YouTube and practice those skills of speaking on YouTube. Point number 18, how do you measure yourself is, are you getting paid more? So this is Loy from LoyMachedo.com, who has spoken to you for 36 minutes and given you his presentation. Thank you very much for watching. If you have suggestions, if you have feedback, if you have anything that you'd like to tell me, please feel free. Love to hear from you. This is Loy Machedo saying goodbye for now.